We now have a group of community members, faculty, and students with the CAIR organization at UCLA. We're taking that live. Let's listen in.
We are going to give a platform for some of the students that were also here last night. Some of them were direct victims of the attacks. So I'll start with Hassan.
Assalamu alaikum.
I apologize. I forgot to mention Waqas Syed, the director of the California Islamic Circle of North America, their Council for Social Justice. His name is spelled W-A-Q-A-S, last name S-Y-E-D. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings of peace to all of you. Thank you for being here, media, students, supporters, community members, so we can be here to make sure that the true story of what happened over the last couple of nights is known to the public. My name is Hussam Ayloush, and I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Los Angeles Area Office of CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, our nation's largest Muslim advocacy and civil rights organization. What happened last night on UCLA's campus was appalling and concerning. A pro-Israeli mob attacked peaceful student protesters engaging in their free speech rights to assemble and oppose the current Israeli genocide against people in Gaza, the Palestinian people of Gaza. This mob came prepared with weapons and chemical irritants and was ready to attack, agitate, assault, and brutalize peaceful UCLA student protesters. The images we witnessed last night were horrific, violent, and disturbing. They were disturbing acts of pro-Zionist and pro-Israeli aggression. UCLA is undoubtedly aware of the constant attacks occurring on its campus against peaceful anti-genocide pro-Palestinian protesters. Last night's attack on UCLA students supporting Palestine was only the latest incident of violence against them. In recent days, pro-Israel extremists directed racial slurs and sexual threats at students, spat on students, and released a pack of mice into the encampment. By failing to publicly call out and hold these prior pro-Israeli acts of violence accountable, and by issuing a recent public statement rightfully recognizing the right of Jewish students to be safe on campus, but explicitly and intentionally failing to recognize the importance of the safety of its Muslim, Palestinian, and Arab students, and implying that anti-genocide and pro-Palestinian protesters are violent, UCLA administration sent a clear message that it does not value the safety of those students, those Muslim, Arab, and Palestinian students. They're not the children of a lesser God. Their parents don't love them and worry about them less. UCLA gave free rein to allow for vigilante mob violence on its campus. Some of those engaged in the mob felt so emboldened as to go on live TV and claim they were afraid to be on campus while engaging in violent terroristic attacks against the peaceful protesters. If students advocating for Palestinian rights and against genocide had engaged in a fraction of the violence perpetrated by the far-right Israeli government supporters, there would have been a national outcry, and rightly so. All of this is part of the constant and consistent dehumanization of Palestinian, Arab, and Muslim people, and anyone advocating for Palestinian human rights, and the constant weaponization of anti-Semitism smears against those advocating for Palestinian human rights. Across the nation, students who have launched peaceful marches, sit-ins, and encampments to protest their institutional or their university's financial investment in the Israeli government have been met with a campaign of disinformation, discrimination, and now disturbing violence. This must end. These students, our community, and those advocating for the humanity of Palestinian rights will not be intimidated by the pro-Israeli mobs. We call on our political leaders to strongly condemn these violences or violent attacks that were broadcast for the world to see. We call on the UCLA administration to ensure the safety of all students, to offer protection and security for the victims of last night's attack. UCLA and other schools must ensure that students can continue to peacefully protest the genocide in Gaza without facing attacks by violent pro-Israel mobs. We call on Attorney General Rob Bonta to investigate the lack of response from the University PD, UCPD, and LAPD as the pro-Israel mob brutalized and terrorized students at the encampment. The pro-Israel extremists responsible for last night's attack must be identified and prosecuted. Lastly, our CAIR attorneys are exploring all legal avenues to hold the perpetrators of these terroristic attacks accountable and to hold the negligence of our public institutions accountable. CAIR is asking for those who are harmed by the results of these attacks to contact our offices and submit reports and evidence so we can help take the necessary action. Thank you.